Hi guys, Mark here with Walter's World. We're in the Beihai Park, right by the Forbidden City in Beijing. And today we're going to give you 10 things that are going to shock you when you come to China. This is more for Westerners when they come. You might not be ready for these things, so I'm just going to give you a heads up so when you come, it's not a shock, you're used to it, and it won't surprise you, okay? So the first thing you need to know about are the toilets. First off, it's going to be a hole in the ground most of the time. Just be prepared for that, so get your squatting ready. So women wear dresses, skirts, stuff like that, makes it easier. Guys, good luck. We have a video actually helping you know the bathroom's here. Okay, so just know it's going to be a hole. Also, there's no toilet paper in the stalls. Okay, so you got to bring your toilet paper with you, or it's at the doorway when you walk into the bathroom. Also, the bathroom, when you go to the toilet part, there's a step up, so be careful. You don't want to trip and fall in the toilet here. Not fun. Okay, so that's the first thing that's going to shock you, are the toilets. The second thing you're going to shock you about here is how much people spit, and it's not just two, it's two. I mean, my son Caleb, I spit the other day. He's like, "Daddy, you're not doing it right. You got to do it." Two. Guys, people do spit, clear their throat because you have so much air pollution and stuff like that you will be spitting too. So just be prepared to hear a lot of kind of things on the train, on the metro, in the streets, all kinds of stuff like that. Men, women, kids, pretty girls, all kinds of people. The third thing is going to shock you is how bad the smog can be. Now today we got a beautiful day here in Beijing, but the first 2 days we were here, it was literally brown. We couldn't see the buildings across the street. The smog, when it's bad, will shock you how bad it truly is. And in the country, if you go to the countryside, we came from Xi'an to Beijing. It's about 1,000 kilometers. It was literally smog the whole way, and you will be shocked how bad the air quality can be. But then when you get days like today, you don't notice it, you don't care, because it is beautiful and you can actually breathe clearly. But make sure you bring some masks from the US or wherever you're coming from, okay? Number 4 thing that's going to shock you is the food. Yes, you can get dog meat here, and yes, you can get donkey meat. Donkey meat's actually not too bad. Dog meat, I couldn't bring myself to eat. I tried, but I just couldn't do it, okay? But there are pretty crazy stuff you can have here. Mountain lion, if you like, turtle soup, or all kinds of things you can eat that you're not used to at home. And so it will shock you some of the stuff on the menus. Now, those kind of things, dog, donkey, things like that, they're not at every restaurant, so don't worry, okay? But just be prepared that some of these things might pop up in the menu, okay? So sometimes I order food and I'm like, I don't know what it is, and I don't want to know what it is. It just tastes good, I don't want to know, okay? The fifth thing that's going to shock you about China are the lines. Or I should say the lack of lines. There's so many people that's just a mad rush all the time for a line. So if you're going into the metro in Beijing or Shanghai or getting off, everyone goes at the same time. They don't let people off and then other people come in. The elevator works the same way. It's just a mad rush in and out. And if you're going in line for anything, whether you're buying ice cream or candies or anything like that, you're going to have that same bam, rush kind of thing. So be prepared for, don't leave any space in that line. Be right up on the person in front of you because someone will sneak in front of you. Guaranteed, and that's going to shock you, the lack of lines. Hong Kong, they have lines, don't worry, but mainland, forget about it, okay? The sixth thing that's going to shock you about coming to China is people. There are people everywhere. Guys, there's 1.5 billion Chinese people, okay? So that's 5 for every 1 American. So if you're in the US, for every place you go, imagine there's 5 people there instead of just you. Okay, so you have things like that, so you are going to be surprised how many people there really are and how they really are on top of each other and all over the places, and the rickshaws and the bikes and the cars and all kinds of stuff. So be prepared for that to shock you. But it is kind of cool because there are people everywhere, so you're never kind of alone, but it is really safe here. So even though you're not alone, you're still safe. So it's really cool. The 7th thing you're going to be shocked about here is how much they love Western babies. Our kids literally get their picture taken a few hundred times a day. I mean, people are taking pictures of me doing these videos, okay? But like my kids, they get mobbed because they're little Western kids and people love to take pictures of them. So if you're coming with your kids, be prepared for this, okay? Doesn't matter how cute you think they are, the Chinese guys think they're even cuter, okay? So be prepared for that because that will shock you. The 8th thing that's going to shock you about coming to China is the traffic. Guys, traffic goes all the time. Cars going each way, buses and rickshaws and bikes and people and all kinds of stuff. You have to look the entire time when you're crossing. If you don't know how to cross the street, get with a group of Chinese people and wait for them to cross and follow them. And while you go, keep looking because the cars and the buses, they won't stop for you. They'll hit you. Okay, so you really got to pay attention. So sometimes you stop in the middle and you like weave your way through. So be ready for that. So that'll kind of shock you when you're here. The 9th thing that's going to shock you, and for parents this is one of those things, is you'll see little kids pooping and peeing on the streets. And you'll see little kids and they'll have slits in the back of their pants and they'll just squat down and take a dump or take a pee, and the parents just leave it there. Sometimes, like my son, he kept asking about it until he saw at the Forbidden City a dad holding his kid up and the kid's pooping into the trash can through his crack in the pants. And my son never talks about poop anymore. That traumatized. So be prepared for that shock of seeing little kids poop and pee. You don't see so much of that in Shanghai and Beijing, but you will see a lot once you get out of the major cities. So just be prepared that it might not be doggy doo-doo on the road. It might be Dougie's doo-doo, okay? And the 10th thing that's going to shock you about coming to China is just really how wonderful the people are. Because I'll be honest, the Chinese people here are fantastic. They're friendly, they're helpful. Even if they don't speak English, they're still going to try to help you out and get you where you want to go. And it is great. And I've really enjoyed it. That's been my favorite part of China, is meeting the people and seeing how wonderful they really are. And I hope you get to meet a lot of Chinese people when you come to China. It is a great place to visit. If you want to know more things, 5 things you love and hate about visiting Beijing, top 10 cities in China, check us out at our website at waltersworld.com. We're also on Twitter and Facebook, and we appreciate all of our likes and subscriptions. And bye from the Beihai Park in Beijing, China. Bye.